Hi, and welcome to Creation Depot. My name is Wendy Litteral, and today we're going to be talking about my new freebie. So what is this template? It's basically think Mad Lib style, but is it Mad Lib style from the terms of a designer? So most of if you've been following along in this series, there's 4 videos in this playlist, and all the other ones, it's like the generators that are out there are good if you want to create an essay. The problem is that essays do not work very well in terms of like usability. I mean, when somebody comes to an About Us page backstory, I don't know why my camera is like flipping out on me here. I don't know why they have essays for their About Us pages. It's not conducive, because when somebody comes to an About Us page, they just scan it, right? Like they're trying to get the information, the backstory, so that they can make an informed decision, whatever that decision might be, whether or not they want to do business with you, if they are trying to reach out to you, are you a charity, like are you a church, like however that might work out, right? So this About Me page is actually done based on, and I'm going to show you what it all is so that you're not like surprised by it or anything. So this is the quiz, but let me show you the actual About Us page. There we go. So have no fear, it will not be like, I'm not asking you to turn your webpage into a series of colors, but I wanted to lay it out in a way that was like visually compelling, right? So when you come to an About Us page, it should have a hero. It should have a graphic title, right? It should have something that entices you, that pulls you in. Like it's your like hero, it grabs you and pulls you in. And that's what this is. It's a main title, and then it's got the text that goes here. And then further down, we're going to talk about your approach. What is your design style? Like, what is the process through which like you use your industry? Like for me as a designer, it's I have to do research. I have to do research on whatever the website is, the client, right? And then I have to do a mock-up, and then I have to do, I have to do a wireframe, and then I have to do a mock-up, and then I have to do a series of revisions, and then eventually we get to the final product. That's my design process. But what is your process? When you are developing a shoe, for example, or you're developing a new gadget, or you're developing a new way for meditation, like what is your process? You want to have that information available, and you want to link to it from here. You don't want to put it necessarily on this page because it's probably a little in depth, and you want people to be able to go to it from this page. Your About Us page is a landing page. It should not be a 50-mile long, I mean, scrolling is okay, but it shouldn't be a forever long thing. It should be a thing that gets you to the thing you want to know about. And then as you scroll down, we have one more. These are called 50/50s because they're half the page and half the page. When you get to the second 50/50, your backstory title. Now this is going to link to your traditional, when you think of an About Us page, this is what this is linking to. It is linking to a page that would potentially hold that essay, but I'm going to say don't make it an essay. Write your essay if you are so inclined that tells your entire backstory, but then go back through it and pull out little nuggets of information so that it's scannable, and then put that in a way with pictures and divisions and sections and however you want to do it to break it up. Icons are a really good example, bullet points, lists, just ways to break it up so that it's still relatively short, but it's readable, it's scannable, but still conveys what your backstory is, so that people might actually, get through to the end and read it. Videos work really great in these instances too, if you want to explain it. And then to the next one, I give you the choice of something to put here. This is one more thing to kind of drag people down that funnel, drag people down that information. If they've gotten down this far, they're looking for something, they're still interested in it. And if they get down here, you have a choice of what you want to put here based on your industry and your business. It could be events, news, blog posts, whatever it needs to be. You don't even need to put information. You don't have to put this text here. It's just if you feel like the stuff down here needs more information, needs more explanation, then you would put that text there. But basically you want this section to be what's called cards. These with a photo and some text and everything in a box basically is called a card. And you want to have those cards here. And now if you have a whole bunch of them, you can install them on a slider and then have the ability to slide right here. Or click right if you're on a desktop, and have more cards show up. But this is what you want to have here, because this is a place where you can condense a whole lot of information about the breadth of your site, of your business, into one spot. And then as you scroll down, then you have your call to action. Now I have put what would be like the 4 main like social medias here. you can do anything here. You can link to a specific product that you're trying to sell. You can link to an event that you're trying to promote. You can ask people for donations. You can ask people to sign up for job opportunities. You can ask people to do your email list. You can do any of those things here, but this is the call to action. This is the end of the sales funnel. You want people to do an action here. So you got to think about what that you want that action to be. And of course, you can change it out as many times as you want. But for this moment in time, what does that need to be effective for you? And then at the bottom, I've got more pink because pink's my color, but this is just the site footer with like your main links and however you do your footer on your site. But this is the nuts and bolts of an About Us page. You notice it looks very much like a landing page because that's what it should be. It's a big misconception that an About Us page needs to be like the essay, the backstory, like this big in-depth thing. That has its place here, but it shouldn't be your main thing, because when people are wanting to connect with you, you need to ease into it. So you want to have like, this is who we are. This is like the most important part of the site, your hero, because you want to choose a graphic or a video that is, I'm sorry, my phone was going off. You want to choose a graphic or a video that really calls out to who your client is. Like what are they going to connect with? You want to have video or photography that looks like them. You want them to be connected. So you want to put that as your background image here. And then you want to have a title that's going to connect with them. And you want to have text that connects with them. And it needs to be short text, because you're really just being like, hi, this is who I am. If you're interested, leave it a little bit further. Like that's kind of what you're doing. You're casting that net and then you're dragging them in, right? And then they get down to what's the approach? Like, okay, well, how is this going to refer to them? Like what is going to be interesting for them? And then if they're interested, they can click the image or the title and go to that information and get more in depth about your approach. And then as they scroll down the backstory, if they're really interested in reading about where you're from or more information about it, they can. Otherwise, they've gotten enough from this information and this information to feel comfortable scrolling down further. And if they get down further and they see this more like blog posts, that things that you're interested in, okay, well, they write about this, they write about this, right? But that's okay. Oh, look, there's a call to action, but you're not going to call it call to action. Of course, you're going to call it social media links or come join us. Like you need to have it, like have an action. So it'll say, come join us on social media, or, you know, hey, give me a shout out on Instagram, or sign up for our email list so you can get 10% off the next thing. Like that's what you want to do here. And then have your little bit further text here. This should really only be like 1 to 2 sentences, if at all, down here. If it's social media links, it could just be social media links. You don't even have to put text here, because it's pretty obvious what you want them to do. You want them to click, open up a new window, and then go join you on whatever platform that is. If it's an email list, you might want to do a little bit more persuasion, and just because people are hard pressed to give up their email lists or emails, but like it's a really good layout in terms of like it starts big and then works them down, and if they're still there with you, it sends them to what you want them to do. So that's why I wanted to put this out there, because I feel like people just get lost and then they just throw up this essay on the About Us page and call it done, and it does nothing for the client, right? Like you really want your About Us page to be an overview of what your company is, and then slowly, if they're interested in the minutia, give it to them on their own terms. But really, you just want to take them on this journey down through your company and then end with an action. So that's what I put out here. I hope that you guys go and see it. I'll put a link in the description below. And yeah, enjoy it. Oh, the quiz. Let me show you the quiz. The quiz is really cool. Isn't that an awesome photo? So it's about how do you rate enough this About Us page out. I'm excited about that photo. It was just a stock photo that Typeform had, but I thought it was so cool. And yeah, it's a sign up for an email list. But then once you get on there, you talk about your company name, what titles you need to have. So I tell you how much you need to have to make this layout work for you. Okay, so 5 to 6 words that succinctly describes what you do. We sell purple giraffes to the masses. And then further down, when you talk about your, goodness, where did it go? So when you scroll down a little bit further, like you're getting into like the lead text, that's what this is. So this right here would be the lead text. So I'm telling you, okay, come up with your title for your approach. Or I'm sorry, your hero graphic, and then down here explain like the statement for it. And then we're going to talk about how you work, what's your process, what you do. Again, we're going to come up with a title. You can call it approach if you want to, but having something, if you can make it industry specific, is going to be the most beneficial for you. and then generating lead text. I'm trying to talk to you like a copywriter right now. Your lead text, again, it's going to be something super short, one sentence. It's got to fit in this space right here. So it's got to stay short, but your lead text has to be something that, of course, reflects the title you just put in, but also entices the user to click on it to go elsewhere if that's what you want them to do. If you're just trying to link to something boring, but you feel like you need to have it on there, it can be a little bit boring text. You can do that. But if it's going to be something you don't want to have on the site, I would not even put it there. So, but then scrolling down, and this is, of course, where the back page gets its name. This is your backstory that we're talking about. You can use any of these things. You don't even have to get creative. I gave you a bunch of examples. And then the text for it, just the leading text. You know, something, we're founded on coffee, moving boxes, and takeout and borrowing our parents' garage. That's a really good lead because it gives you character, it gives you humor, it gives you something to be attached to, and people like that. And then scrolling down the cards, and more cards. This is the part of cards I was talking about before, this part here. And it's very useful. You can put a whole bunch of stuff in here. This is where you can cram all the information in. But I would suggest cramming in relevant information. If you've got a bunch of blog posts that are all over the map, you don't want to put blog posts here. You want to put, you can put events, you can put a news that you've got, or you could just omit it. And, you know, if you don't have blog posts at all, just leave this section out. It's not going to do you any good unless it is showing that you know more about your industry, whether it's through posts that you've put up or links that you've included that you can put to on a sliding scale like this. If you don't have those kinds of things, just omit it. Just leave this section out because it's not going to help you unless you can have it be industry specific, right? If it's not helping you promote what you're promoting, don't include it. And then the last thing, your call to action, and we've talked about that. And then I give you some ideas about what to put here. And then you hit OK. It's going to tell me, yeah, it wants me to complete my email address. But once you complete it, what it's going to do is it's going to send you an email address. And on that email address, it's going to send you an email. And on that email, it's going to show you links to the mockup that I showed you before, the one that I just had on the screen. It's going to give you a link to the quiz. And then it will have a link to a video that shows you step-by-step how to using Avada, a WordPress theme, using Fusion Builder, they use Fusion Builder, to lay out the page, like how to do it. And I go into like just step-by-step how to do it using Avada. Many themes are very similar or also use Fusion Builder in WordPress. So you'll be able to kind of glean from there if you don't have those exact things. I do have links, affiliate links in there for Avada. Envato is the marketplace that uses them, and you can use that way. But yeah, if nothing else, I think this is going to be really helpful to anybody that needs it. So yeah, go ahead and follow the link below, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'm really excited for this. I really hope you find it useful. If you have any questions, please do leave the comments down below because they do help me out as far as like figuring out what pieces are missing, how I can make the product better. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.